I've noticed something changing in the industry, what I call a paradigm shift. It's going to affect you, and I'm wondering if you know what it is and what you can do about it. I'm going to share that with you coming up in just one moment. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Casting Actors Cast. I'm Jeffrey Dreisbach. So great to have you here today because I've got a lot of things I want to share regarding what I call a paradigm shift. And we're going to explain what that is in just a moment. But this is that moment in the podcast where I say, welcome, welcome, welcome to Casting Actors Cast. It's really great that you're tuning in today. We're hearing from all over the world, and I can't be more grateful. And I also want to let you know that if you go to the website, castingactorscast.com, there are some freebies there available for you, including some handouts, some PDFs. Also, you'll see some workshops and classes that I'm teaching, all kinds of cool stuff there. But also, if you want to become part of this community of actors listening to Casting Actors Cast, that I'm going to encourage you to fill out the comment form. It says, jump into the talent pool. All you have to do, I know I made that up. It's a little weird. But anyway, you just fill out that form, give me your name and your email address, and then you, some kind of a comment, say, hi, Jeff, love the podcast. Or, hi, Jeff, this simulcasting thing for the YouTube is just not happening. Hope you don't say that. But if you do, go ahead and do that. But once you do that, it'll open up another folder for you to download, a downloadable PDF of my book, Conversation Pieces Out of the Studio, the voiceover workshop for professional actors. So if you're a voice actor or you want to be a voice actor, maybe you don't know what it takes to be a voice actor, this is a 100-page downloadable workshop based on a lot of the classes and workshops that I teach. I wrote it maybe a handful of years ago. It's still very useful, I think, today. And I look forward to hearing from you when you get that book as well. So go to castingactorscast.com. Thank you very much. So today we're calling it the paradigm shift. And that really is based on a couple of incidents that take place. You know, I don't really know what I'm going to be saying in these podcasts until something happens that sort of triggers something. And in fact, something did trigger something this week. And one was, I guess it was an email that I got. And I'm going to share that email with you right now.
Okay, let's check out this week's mail. Remember, if you have a question or comment, just go to castingactorscast.com and fill out the comment form. It's easy.
And this is our email that I received this week that I wanted to make a comment on. Thank you very much, Jacob, for sending it in. Jacob is from Australia, and he wrote this question: is it important that I go to college, then become an actor, or could I just go into acting without having to go to college? What do you think? Well, I thank you very much for the question, Jacob, and this is part of that paradigm shift that I was talking about. It turns out that for several years, everyone thought that they had to go to a college or university training program, then get on a bus, find an apartment, get into an apartment in New York or Los Angeles or Chicago or Atlanta, and set up shop and start auditioning as an actor, calling yourself an actor. Just put your shingle up on the door, now you're an actor. So then you start acting. Now, the reality is that's really hard to do based on a couple of factors. One, you know, you've heard about the competition, how much talent there is out there looking for the limited amount of jobs there are available. And that can be a challenge. But here's my answer to you directly, Jacob. No, you don't have to go to college to be an actor. That's kind of silly. You don't have to go to mechanics school to be a good mechanic. You could certainly learn how to be a good mechanic by working on cars. You could be a good actor by acting, by local community college, maybe your high school productions, maybe there are some semi-professional productions, whatever, but just get yourself into an acting environment. Continue to grow your craft. But here's the thing. That's much more of a crapshoot. That's much more of a gamble, I think. And I think the better answer is you don't have to go to a college or university. But if you choose not to go to a college or university, you must know this. You must, and I say this as emphatically as I can, you must take some classes. You must get some training. It'll bypass so many mistakes and situations that you might find yourself in. But if you literally go into a class situation, working on scene study, working on how to audition, any skill set kind of training that you can take, it's a must, because you'll accelerate your work in a much better and healthier way than if you just try to do it alone or do it on your own. Now, here's the other thing. I don't mean to, with a broad brush, stroke this don't go to college thing. Here's the thing. There are a lot of colleges and universities that provide excellent training. I get asked and invited to go to colleges all throughout the course of the school year, and I tell you, I am so impressed by the training that's taking place at many of these colleges and universities. So that's not something to take, lightly. But here's the thing that I would have you consider. Make sure that it's with a faculty that has professional experience, that not just educators trying to educate you on the profession. Does that make sense? Gosh, I hope it does. What I mean is that many universities, many colleges require that their staff continue to become and maintain their professional standards. There are many colleges and universities that are located in cities that they are very much active in the professional community. So that is something for you to really hang on to really do something about. If you're going to go to a college or university, do your due diligence by checking out all of the opportunities that are there and have faculty that are professionals in the business. That's key. Now, like I said, there are a lot of colleges and universities who offer excellent training programs, and you just have to do your research. So I think that colleges and universities can be a really great choice, but it really does depend on the college or university that you go to. Don't settle for something because it's convenient. Challenge yourself to find something that has the right kind of faculty and the right kind of professional training that you're going to accelerate at. That's the answer. But that question, thank you, Jacob. That question from Jacob really prompted an entire kind of reevaluation of what I call this sort of alternative pathways for actors. Alternative pathways for actors. Actors are finding really unique ways of staying connected in the industry, although it might seem like they're on the periphery, but they are still connected to the industry, and they are getting really excellent advice and training because they're connected to the industry. Now, they might not necessarily be acting. They might be auditioning, but then maybe they have an alternative pathway kind of job opportunity that would really accelerate their acting career. And here's what I'm talking about. Because I know a lot of actors, and this is sort of the old cliche about actors becoming waiters just to pay the bills. And you know what happens, and it happens many, many times, I'm sure you know, is that you get too tired to show up for auditions. Suddenly you're working at your waiter or waitress job and you sort of let go of the reason why you came to the big city in the first place, if that's what you did. And so what I'm suggesting is taking a look at maybe some of these alternative career pathways. And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Think about what it would take for you to look into becoming an intern. And I'm not just talking about an internship anywhere. I'm talking about an internship for an agent, an internship for a casting director, an internship for a production studio. Now, there are some paid internships out there. So consider, like, for example, if you're an intern at a casting office, like at McCorkle Casting, we bring in interns all the time. We're always looking for interns. Now, we can't pay interns, I'm sorry to say. We're a small office. Sometimes we're able to help out with transportation. But if you can afford it, But if you can also find out if the internships are paid or not, then this is a great way for you to check it out. Because what you'll do is you'll discover an entire other universe that you might not have any information about. But taking an internship, you will learn so much about that particular side of the industry that it can do nothing but help you when you are in the business as an actor. Make sense? So if you're in a casting office and you can literally see how casting decisions are being made, then you're in a really excellent place. When you start going out and auditioning on your own, you have a much better understanding of what it takes to be an auditioned actor. Same way with being an agent. How does an agent decide what clients to bring on? Who are the clients that are maintaining and developing their good client-agent relationships? That kind of information is absolutely invaluable for you to consider. So think about an internship. The other one is a production assistant. Finding out if there's a film production shooting in your area. Being a PA on a set. Yeah, it might feel like grunt work. It might feel like you're taking an actor from a trailer to the set, or you're, cleaning up after the lunch crew, or, whatever it is. It might seem a bit demeaning, but being in the environment, seeing what's taking place, taking inventory of how it all works will only put you in a more confident position when you're hired as an actor to be on a film set. So consider an alternative career for an actor might be a production assistant on a film or a television set. Keep your eyes and ears open for those opportunities, because you know what? They're out there. There are people all the time looking for assistants, being a personal assistant to a celebrity. Now that's another opportunity there for you that you might not have thought of. But being in that world will give you confidence, but will also give you access to people in the industry. And as long as you're clear about your intention about being an actor, either with a casting office or an agency, or whether you're a celebrity assistant, whatever it might be, those are all areas in which you can really get ensconced and find out so much about what it takes to be a professional. So those are some alternative acting career things. And the other one I want to share with you a little bit about is being a reader. Now, we pay our readers, for example, and what I'm talking about is going in and helping and assisting and being a reader for auditions. We do pay our readers for theater productions. Our film and television, we don't pay our readers, but they get the experience of working with the director, being in the room, watching how it all takes place, and that can be extremely useful, extremely valuable for those actors that are a little bit nervous about auditioning. I've said this before, but one day in a casting office is like a master's degree in what to do and what not to do in an audition. So consider being a reader. Now, how do you get those jobs? Well, I can tell you they're not that easy sometimes. I can tell you that we scrutinize our readers quite carefully because we want to make sure that those readers are not going to do anything else but support the actor who's auditioning. So don't think of it in terms of getting some additional face time in front of a director, a producer, or an artistic director, or in fact the casting director. That's not the way to look at it. Although there may be some residual effects after that. To count on that would be a big mistake. But do consider being a reader for your own benefit so that you can gain confidence and learn what it is to be in the room after the actor has left the room and what is actually being discussed. I think you'll find it elucidating. Ooh, good word, elucidating. So that's another alternative actor career. So like I said, we do pay our readers, but not everybody pays their readers. It's a matter of talking to and making contact with those casting directors, not as an actor looking for work, but as, do you have any opportunities for being a reader? I would love the chance. Or perhaps if you're working with an agent, now that's a great way to say to your agent, listen, if there's a casting director you're close to that might be looking for a reader, would you mind throwing my hat in the ring? Because I would love that opportunity. See, that's a real smart way of making an inroad into that what you might not have thought of is a really cool alternative career for you. So being a reader is really great. Also, as we're continuing on this trek, being a film extra is something that you might want to consider as well. Either a union film or a non-union film, it doesn't really matter. A lot of extra work can be found out very, very easily just by contacting your local film and entertainment mayor's office, for example, in New York and Los Angeles and Chicago and Atlanta. You can find out what's being shot, what's shooting. You can find out if there are any extra opportunities for some of those films or television shows. Here's the thing, the reason that you would want to be an extra, or background work as they call it, the reason you want to do background work, well, it's a great way to see what takes place on a set, to know the director, see the director working with the PD, see the director working with the other assistants on the set, seeing the sound guy, seeing the prop person, seeing all of these players on a set. Boy, that's an invaluable way of learning what takes place. And you're sort of like a fly on the wall. Plus, guess what? You're getting paid. Plus, guess what? You might even get some lunch out of the deal. I know they feed the actors sometimes. Here's the thing I want to qualify, though, about that, being an extra in those film and television things as a background person. And that is, you don't want to make a career of it. I don't think that that's really a healthy way if you're interested in being a professional actor. I also would not put it on my resume. There's nothing useful for me as a casting director to know that you've been an extra in several films. Do it for yourself. Do it for the opportunity. I keep on saying opportunity. I don't know why I keep saying that word. Do it for the experience. Do it for knowing what takes place on a film set or a television set. Get to become comfortable in that environment, so when that opportunity, there it is again, when those situations present themselves for you, now you're in a place of confidence because you've been there. You know how it works. You know what takes place. And there's nothing more valuable than that. You don't have to kind of worry about all of this excess input, going on around you when you've already had the experience of what it's like. That puts you in such a better, stronger, comfortable situation. So that's something to consider as well. The last thing I want to share with you, which I think is something that occurred to me also this week, and that is that I love teaching. As you know, I've mentioned it all the time, maybe too much sometimes, but I noticed that there are some of these organizations, some of these training programs, some of these training places like One-on-One NYC in New York, or Actors Connection is another one, or The Growing Studio is another one, or Penny Templeton Studios is another one. Many times they will hire actors to do some administrative work. Now that may not sound really exciting to you, I know. But here's the thing. A lot of those administrative type folks are acting as readers during classes. Many times they are having access to all of the faculty, the casting directors, the agents, the managers, the teachers at the training programs. And that's a great way to network. That's a great way for you to kind of get on the inside of the heads of some of these folks to find out what it's like. And I can tell you on more than one occasion, I've just absolutely been crazy about some of those people who have been running, they are acting as readers, for example, when I'm doing an audition class, something like that. Boy, I've just absolutely been crazy about some of those folks. And in fact, I've actually brought some of those folks into audition because I've liked their work so much. Now, that's not a guarantee that that will happen. But a lot of times you're not considering some of these alternative careers. Wouldn't it be great to get paid to watch how a training program hires its casting directors so that you can also sit in on those classes and watch how the process takes place? It's like getting a free class. I can't think of anything that would be more useful, more confident building, and make you feel as if you're part of the community in a more direct way than that. So I hope that that's been helpful to you. Listen, if you haven't had a chance to go check out the website, Casting Actors Cast, please do so. I also would love if you wouldn't mind to going on the channel, Casting Actors Cast YouTube channel. This is my second attempt at videotaping the podcast, and I'd love to know what you think, if there's any value in me continuing to do this. Like I said last time I tried this, it's a lot of work, and I still can't give it up. I just would love to have a chance to perfect the way in which I'm doing this, and maybe with your suggestions and comments and feedback, you could help me out. So that's it for this week's episode of Casting Actors Cast. Please tune in again next week. I look forward to having you there, and, what can I say? Keep it real.